3,500 years ago, a desert camp falls into complete, unnerving silence. It is the Day of Atonement, the holiest day for Israel. While the sun begins to rise, families wait in their tents, examining their sins. They know that today, the survival of the entire community rests on the actions of a single man. The high priest approaches the tabernacle, but he doesn't arrive in his usual gold-threaded ephod or jeweled breastpiece. He strips those away, dressing instead in simple white linen. Standing before the Creator, personal glory and rank offer no protection. Before he can address the sins of the nation, he faces a logistical problem. He is a sinner himself. He must first slaughter a young bull to account for his own rebellion. The mediator standing between the people and God is inherently flawed. This creates a precarious tension. The community's continued existence depends on a representative who carries his own debt, participating in a system that acknowledges its own imperfection from the very start. The logic of this system is found in Leviticus. The life of the flesh is in the blood. Because the wage for sin is death, the removal of that sin requires a life to be offered as a substitute. To resolve this debt, the sinner physically places their hands on the animal's head, symbolically transferring their personal guilt to the substitute. The animal takes the death the human deserved, momentarily rebalancing the scale of justice. But the mechanics of the Old Covenant had a built-in limitation. Animal blood could only cover sin, it couldn't erase it. This created a cycle. Every year when the Day of Atonement returned, the same blood had to flow again. This repetition served as a constant theological reminder. The blood of bulls and goats was an engineered placeholder, a temporary measure that kept the community's debt in view until a permanent solution arrived. This requirement for blood isn't isolated to the desert tabernacle. It forms a consistent trail through every major epoch of the biblical narrative, beginning at the very start of human history. In Eden, God killed an animal to cover Adam and Eve in skins. On Mount Moriah, a ram died so that Isaac could live. During the Exodus, the blood of a lamb marked the doors of those spared from judgment. Each event added a new layer to the requirement of substitution. This pattern explains why Cain's offering was rejected. He attempted to approach God through the fruit of his own labor, ignoring the specific, blood-based mechanism God had appointed for atonement. These are not separate fables. They are an escalating sequence of events, a countdown of increasing complexity, pointing toward a singular destination. That destination was a hill called Golgotha, 1,500 years after the first Day of Atonement. While Roman soldiers saw a standard execution, the author of Hebrews describes a high-level priestly transaction. The text uses the Greek word prosphero. This is technical sacrificial language. It indicates that Jesus was the active participant in the event, intentionally presenting himself as an acceptable offering to the Father. In this moment, the roles of the tabernacle merged. Under the law, the priest and the sacrifice were always separate. At the cross, the great high priest and the spotless sacrificial lamb became the same person. This was the combined work of the Trinity. The Father received the offering, the Son provided the life, and the Holy Spirit empowered the entire sacrificial act. The cross fulfilled the legal demands of the previous 1,500 years. By providing a voluntary, human life without blemish, the sacrifice addressed the underlying debt that animal blood could only mask. As Jesus died, he spoke a final word: "It is finished." The original Greek word is tetelestai. First-century citizens found this term written across their business receipts. It was the standard accounting term used to confirm that a debt was paid in full. This declaration moved the conversation from the temple to the ledger. Jesus did not merely pay a portion of the penalty. He zeroed out the entire balance for those who come to him. Because the debt was cleared by a perfect substitute, the infinite loop of the Day of Atonement was broken. No further blood is required, and no repeated sacrifices are necessary. From the first sacrifice in Eden to the final cry at Golgotha, the cross stands as the point where the demands of absolute justice were finally met by the provision of infinite love.